rely on commercialism.
Sabi pa nga nung Idris,
You have to be very
gives Jose Abad Santos.
Nandun na siya.
Yung acting ko po.
Naging version of kung ano alam niya.
Cepeda Santos.
Kakaiba ang ating paksa ngayon sapagkat may kinalaman ito sa paghahanap ng bansa ng mga mabubuting halimbawa. Yung bagay ikang may paninindigan at hindi nagpapalipat-lipat ng alyansa. Maganda yun sapagkat ang laking rason ng mga congressmen kaya nasa supermajority, kailangan lang ika ng kanilang constituents na mapalapit sa grasya o sa kusina sa kasabihang ang bawat kusinero kahit papano na mamantikaan. Pero let's talk about something different today. Sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas, meron ding mga makapili. Meron ding mga nakiisa sa mga mananakop upang makaligtas. Pero meron ding mga taong nanindigan. At isang dahilan bakit tayo meron talakayan ngayong umagang ito sapagkat kaarawan noong ating bibigyan ng pansin ngayon na si Justice Jose Abad Santos. So this morning, we have two historians with us. Si Professor Bernard Karganilla ng University of the Philippines, Manila, the best university along Padre Faura, and Dr. August Deviana, a history professor at UST, the best university along Espanya. Okay? So wala tayong problema lang. We're joined by Desiree Abad Santos Benipayo. Siya po yung may akda noong aklat. Pakita nga po natin yung aklat. Ito yung honor, the legacy of Jose Abad Santos. Okay? So, kasama rin natin si Mario Abad Santos Benipayo. Siya po ay, sila yung mga producer no, ng pelikula. Ito yung isang documentary. Hindi ko lang alam kung mapapanood dito sa mga commercial cinemas. Pero palagi ko dapat sa paaralan ito And we're joined by a director, Bani Logroño, pinakabatang direktor sa ngayon, sa pagkakaalam ko. So let's start. Anong kasaysayan, anong katuturan sa kasaysayan ni Jose Abad Santos? Let's hear it from our historians.
Good morning. Good morning, colleagues in the Fourth Estate. I'm Bernard Karganilla. Among others, I write for Malate Business Insight. I have a prepared statement so I can give you copies later on. My message is simple. Our current national constitution, the 1987 Philippine Constitution, in Article 14 mandates that all educational institutions shall inculcate the appreciation of national heroes, the role of national heroes in the historical development of our country. And Jose Abad Santos clearly belongs to that category. And we also have a separate law on Rizal that when it was passed in 1956, its spirit is of the same, that the national heroes, the people, the Filipinos who helped shape the national character deserve to be taken up in the schools. So I believe Jose Abad Santos embodies the Jose Rizal template.
Okay, thank
That
you.
is all. Thank you.
All right. Professor,
Yeah.
from the other side of the academe, from UST.
mahalaga po yung ating tatalakayin ngayon kasi ito po yung buhay ni Chief Justice Jose Abad Santos. Dahil bawat henerasyon ay kailangan po maghanap ng inspirasyon. Mas lalo sa ating mga trials ngayon as a nation. At kailangan natin maghanap ng isang shining example na kahit na against the odds ay mayroong panindigan at mayroong fortitude. Ayun po yung definition din ng National Historical Institute noong hanggang ngayon na yung definition ng isang bayani. So, naghahanap tayo ng bayani, hindi lang yung nakaraan, pero naghahanap din tayo ng bayani na maging inspirasyon natin ngayon.
Sa palagay kaya ninyo, kung nabubuhay pa si Ginoong Abad Santos ngayon, matutuwa kaya sa nagaganap sa lipunang Pilipino?
Ay, sa tingin ko, kung siya
Lapit lang po ng mikropono.
kung siya po ay buhay ngayon, ay magagalit siya. Kasi palipat-lipat ng alyansa tayo . yung meron tayong mga tinatawag na political butterflies, kung saan kumbinyente sa kanila. At saka yung nationalismo para nalilimutan na. Isa rin doon ay yung isa sa mga tema ng aklat ni Desiree Benipayo ay yung honor. So, kailangan natin ito ay i-operationalize. At paano ito natin na itayo ulit. Kung sabi ba nga ni Rizal, kailangan natin itindig ulit yung pagbabangong puri. Ngayon, parang nangyayari parang sad to say, yung meron tayong mga values for sale, tsaka yung mga for convenience sake na lang. So, kailangan natin mga bayani kamukha ni Chief Justice Jose Abad Santos.
Okay. Pakinggan natin yung may akda ng aklat. What made you write this book about Jose Abad Santos?
I'm married to an Abad Santos. So, alam po ng pamilya na, ang normal na alam ng pamilya at ng tao pinatay siya ng hapon at naging hero natin siya. When I started to research about him, as we were thinking of producing a film nga po, no? So when we started to research about him, I saw how wonderful he is as a man. No? Yung kanya pong napakagandang mga characteristics, yung napakabait niya na tao, matalino, bata pa lang po, lagi siyang honor sa classroom. Parang, kumbaga kung ikaw ang magulang, lahat ng gusto mong ituro sa anak mo na sa kanya. Maging mabait, madasalin, matalino, mag-excel. And when I started researching nga po, nakita ko yung not just his illustrious career and his heroic death, but the way he lived his life. And I wanted the people to know, ano po ba siya, what was his everyday day like? Wow, what were his favorite foods? What were his routines for the day? Those things, the human side to him, I wanted to include in the book. And I was very lucky because my mother-in-law, the only living descendant now who still knows him and remembers Jose Abad Santos, was my first-hand information on all the family experiences. So, ayan po, kung isa-sum up po what the book is about, ito po yung bakit siya nasa 1,000 peso bill.
Yun nga ang tanong ko dahilan sa kilalang kilala si Jose Abad Santos sapagkat meron akong mga narinig na yun ang mga abogado nila. Jose Abad Santos, tapos yung mga kasama pa doon sa 1,000 peso bill. Dahil pati raw katarungan, nabibili ngayon No? Yun daw ang law office nila, yung 1,000 peso bill. Pero don't you think, aside from giving honor to the man, may kasama ring insulto dahilan sa how we value yung mga ganitong pagpapahalaga ng mga nagsakripisyo?
Yes, very much. In fact, when the 1,000 peso bill nga po was launched, di ba, people refer to it as Tito Vic and Joey. So, medyo...
Some even said it was Three Stooges.
Yeah. So, because the people is not educated on who the three people are and what they did for our country. So that is our advocacy to spread the way, not just the way he died, but the way he lived honorably.
Did you have difficulties doing the research about the man?
Yes, because very few materials po on him. And whatever, I come across a lot of articles, but it always almost says the same thing. So I had to do a lot of interviews also. And some of the information I got from Northwestern University in Chicago, MacArthur Memorial in Virginia. But, and very luckily, I have my mother-in-law also who still remembers. And because she was already 13, 14 when Abad Santos was executed.
Oh, so that's something, no? Magandang pagkakataon ito. Pero, Bani, hindi ka nahirapang mag-direct ng pelikula?
Well, for this project po, kasi usually, when it comes to a story for a film, yung story usually is about a person who has a flaw and they have to overcome that flaw. That's the usual way the story goes. Pero kasi yung story ni Jose Abad Santos, he's a kind of incorruptible politician. He's a judge who was never marred by any corruption or scandal during his 30 years of service, 30 plus years of service in the Philippines. So yun yung I think greatest challenge of telling this story, how to tell it interestingly for he's human naman pero a person who was parang he had a spotless record for during his career.
Aha.
So that was the greatest
Bani,
challenge.
hindi ba mahirap gumawa ng pelikula kung maayos yung subject matter mo? Eh, nabenta nga si Asyong Salonga eh. Hindi mo nakita yung anggulong yun dahil baka sabihin, too good to be true yung kwento ni Jose Abad Santos. Paano yung commercial appeal?
Well, for this project, nung tinitingnan naman namin is just to reintroduce the story of Jose Abad Santos to everyone kasi yun nga, he's a person that everyone can recognize his face but yet hardly anyone knows his story. We see his name all around us in street signs, in buildings, and yet he's rarely acknowledged. And we're just so lucky na because we have the support of some of the top historians in the Philippines, we have the support of his family, and we have the support of some well-known actors in the Philippines like Ricardo Cepeda, Alex Medina, Marina Benipayo for this project. That's how we're gonna help market this film kasi we have the support of so many great people working on not just the film but also the book.
Yeah. Bani, ang sabi kasi, while movies and documentaries may win accolades here and abroad, pero namamatay sa takilya.
Takilya po, ano?
Sa box office.
Okay. Well, this is a project of the World War II Memorial Foundation where it's not a commercial film per se. It's to educate the youth.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out because there are some instances that people twist facts and figures to make it commercially viable.
Oh no. This is a historical, accurate documentary.
Okay. Mario, what have you to say about it as executive producer as well?
Well, being an Abad Santos myself, growing up, we didn't really know much also, other than just like everybody else, what you read in the books. During the research, it was really and my parents and some of my titas, we weren't really told much about this. I don't know. It's probably because during war was painful and they just didn't want to go back to it. So during the research, first of all, when time came, then when we decided to do the film, because the story had to be told, and those who knew the story, of course, some of them have passed already, so there was an urgency to do it. And during the research, it was discovery, myself and my wife and the cast na rin, those involved in the project. The more we discover about the man, the more we got so inspired about what he did. Kaya mas porsigido kaming maipalabas talaga yung storya niya na mas maayos na kaya nga hindi pang commercial, pang ano po talaga yung totoo as much as possible ho.
Okay. Now, let me ask our academicians here, why is it that Filipinos have very little sense of history? Bakit hindi natin pinahalagahan yung kasaysayan? Is it because history is, just for the victors who write history? Kayo muna ng dalawa.
Well, you mean aside from the textbook cartel in the Department of Education? As a people, we're more forward-looking. And of course, every generation will need to be reminded of what the previous generations have done. The kids have a tendency not to believe the stories of their grandparents until they're presented with some sort of evidence, especially in the form of a movie. So that is a task not only for Filipinos but for all cultures. Now, there's a certain impermanence in our culture. That's why there is a huge need for the educational system to come hammer and tongs at these messages. Now, in regard to the currency thing, I urge my colleagues in the press to ask the Monetary Board of Bangko Sentral Because they were the ones who chose to put the three heroes in the 1,000 peso bill. It's about time that the monetary board defend their choice.
Okay. I will be asking them, don't worry. Pero malalaman daw kasi yung edad ng isang tao pag ang kinukwento ng magulang, katulad ng generation namin, kami millennials noong 1960s eh. Ang sabi, pag nagkwento ang magulang, panahon ng Hapon. Ngayon, pag nagkukwento na kami, panahon ng martial law. At ang sabi, may dalawang legacy na iwan si Marcos ng martial law. Isa raw yung kanyang presidential decree na inalis yung intellectual property ng mga aklat at nireprint sa newsprint at yung curfew. Yun daw curfew nakatulong sa mga binata pag nanligaw, doon na natutulog sa bahay ng nililigawan dahil mahuli ng PC. So yun lang dalawa. Pero kayo po, coming from UST, why is it that we have a very low sense of history? Why do we tend to move on na lang?
Sa aking palagay, ito po yung Pilipino, mahina ang kanilang historical memory. Ang kailangan natin yung palakasin yung tinatawag na historical consciousness. Kaya mahina rin, ito dahil sa ating sistema ng edukasyon. Biro nyo, yung tuturo sa history ay tungkol sa kasaysayan mula elementary ay hanggang high school ay hindi talaga history dahil pinaghalo-halo yung ibang mga disiplina. May social studies, merong geography, kaya nga geography. Halo-halo. Kaya kung ikaw ay guro, kailangan i-divide mo yung mga topics. Kaya minsan na-gloss over yung mga mahalagang bagay. Tapos pangalawa ay yun sa bagong K-12 natin, K-12 reform. Yung Philippine history tinanggal sa high school. Wala sa high school, wala sa junior high school, wala rin sa senior high school. Ang matalakay mo lang ang kasaysayan sa grade 4, grade 5. Ang matanong ko lang sa mga ating mga kababayan, paano mo magkikwento yung mga talagang sakripisyo, yung halimbawa Balangiga Massacre, yung nangyari kay Justice Jose Abad Santos, yung mga small details. Mahalaga yung small details eh. Paano mo matuturo yun sa mga bata? Kasi baka matakot yung mga guro, baka pwede silang makasuhan ng child abuse kasi na-expose sila sa traumatic na ng kasaysayan. Tapos yung susunod na mararamdaman nila kasaysayan ay sa college na at readings in Philippine history ito. So sa ating bansa, tinanggal natin ito samantal sa ibang bansa pinalalakas. Kaya yung mga citizens nila ay makabayan. Mahal nila kanilang bansa. Hindi nila sasabihin na mas magandang itong bansa kaya sa atin. Pero sabihin nila, our country is number one.
Uh-huh.
So, dulot na rin ang ating sistema ng edukasyon. Pangalawa, yung media. Tapos pangatlo, isa din yung may general apathy. Sad to say. Ano yan eh, baka medyo binring up nyo masyado, baka may artistic license, baka hindi naman totoo. So, kaya nag-doubt din yung mga Pilipino at saka higit sa lahat, yung sinasabi ni Jose Rizal nung araw, yung sense of identity ay nawawala. Kaya may sinabi siya, speaking as Simon, pag nawala ang identity mo, patay ka na. Madali ka nang masakop ng mga taga-iyong bansa. Bago dumating ang tunay na kamatayan, wala ka na. It's zero.
We're still gathering, right after the war, they were still gathering records from interviewing yung mga survivors, getting all the records, and then classified nga eh. They came out much later. Pero yung mga history books natin were already printed. Yung kwento lang na what available information was, yung mga bitin-bitin na stories.
Snippets of history.
So yung bidang-bida before was General MacArthur.
Pinapalakpakan si MacArthur pag dumarating na Pilipinas.
Pero beyond that, wala.
Wala. And in fact, even yung itong other projects na ginawa nila shows that ang dami nagawa ng mga Filipino guerrillas before MacArthur returned, which actually made it safe for MacArthur to return.
Okay. Being historians that you are, you have the same observations?
Sa aking palagay, meron pa tayong long hangover from the centennials. Nung 1995, 19 up to the end of the 20th century, nakafocus tayo kay Rizal masyado. Rizal, Aguinaldo, Philippine Revolution, Philippine-American War. Beyond that, it's almost 20 years since the Philippine Centennials in 1998. Parang sa palagay ko, hindi tayo nag-move on. Although may gumawa ng Filipino-American War, beyond that, wala na. Medyo napako tayo sa grupo ng mga heroes na yon, kaya puro ano. But meron tayong mga, hindi natin nakita yung Abad Santos, hindi natin nakita yung ginawa ni Laurel, yung ginawa ng mga hunters, mga guerrillas. Walang masyado. Kaya kailangan ay, siguro ko, it behooves the government. Nga pala yung nangyari noong 1998, from 1993 to 1998, it was government initiated. Total, yung dalawang pangulo ang naggumawa nun, sila Pangulong Ramos kasi Pangulong Estrada. Beyond that, wala na. Puro napako tayo sa group ng sa era na yon. Walang gumagawa pa sa post-American Filipino-American War hanggang sa World War II.
Really? Wow. Malaki-laki pala trabaho ninyo.
Well, the task of an historian is simple. It is to recreate an authentic past. But it's a process because it happened so many years ago. It is really very difficult to capture everything that happens. Even today, even as we speak, there are millions of events going on. The technology allows us now to record these millions of events, but 50 years from now, which ones will be deemed relevant or important? So, the next point is that our people, or humans in general, they associate history with what? Old people. So, unless it becomes part of popular culture, then history will be relegated to old people. And there are two kinds of history. We have the fantasy history like Captain America, the First Avenger, and you have the one showing right now, Darkest Hour, about Winston Churchill. So for the non-historians or social scientists, the appeal of history is to pick events that illuminate concepts. So in the case of Darkest Hour, it is decision-making. In the case of Jose Abad Santos, both the movie and the book, it's honor. So the question we should ask is, what are you prepared to do for honor?
Ayun. Yun ang tanong. And meron kaya sa gobyerno makakasagot nun?
Well, it takes a war.
It takes a war. Okay. I'm surprised. Wala ako nababalitang mga museo na nagtatanghal ng mga kagamitan at mga aklat at mga bagay tungkol sa mga bayanin tulad ni Abad Santos.
Well, again, artifact should be useful. If you saw it's still showing Black Panther. There's this axe supposedly from Benin. If it's made of, it only became relevant because it turned out to be made of vibranium. So, history is useful if people now think that they can be part of that history. Winston Churchill is always a top choice for the Anglo-Saxons because it's a role model for them.
Oh, but we have Manny Pacquiao.
The role models from wars are more romantic.
Really?
And in the case of Jose Abad Santos, like Rizal, there is a martyrdom involved. In any case, there are entire schools and hospitals named after Jose Abad Santos. Besides the street, Jose Abad Santos belongs to a brotherhood. So, the ranks of people who can be mobilized to revive the concepts of honor and integrity are already there. And the book and the movie can be the spearheads for that revival.
Okay. Now, let me ask yung ating author at yung producer at yung director, how different is the book from the movie?
Medyo mahirap po i-condense yung buhay niya sa 1.5 hours or 2 hours. The book is complete from his childhood. Ano ba yung paborito niyang nilalaro nung maliit siya? Ano bang honor niya sa klase? Super complete po kasi yung book. But of course, alam naman po natin yung kahirapan sa filmmaking to condense everything in there.
It's a period film, right?
It is. But the beauty of the film, as directed by Direk Bani, is si Direk Bani has a different approach. Ang galing yung kaya niya i-capture po yung ano ng mga kabataan ngayon. Yung ginagawa po ng documentary is not our typical BBC documentaries na may narration. Ibang-iba po, and that is, I think, our weapon to get the kids to be interested in him. But the book has everything, even the family's vintage photos are here, everything from his life to his death, involving everything.
Okay. Director, ano tingin mo dun sa pag-condense mo nung detalye sa aklat into a movie?
So the movie is 70 minutes long, and I'd say about half of it is the portion about World War II, his martyrdom and what it meant for the country. So what we did so that it could be more relatable to the youth is we put part of the focus of the film on his son, Pepito, who was with him all throughout his struggle during the war. His son was only in his early 20s, and they were both captured by the Japanese. So what we did was we tried to put the audience into his perspective of what was happening, so that it would be more relatable to our target audience, which is the youth.
Okay. Nakita ba sa pelikula yung Japanese brutality?
Yes, of course. Part of why we made it as a documentary is so that we could interview people who were still alive during the war, and we could get them to tell their stories, their experiences through their own mouths. So we interviewed a couple of people who were still alive during the war. One of them was, of course, Tito Mario's own mother, Nieves Benipayo, her experiences during when the war broke out in Manila. Her dad and her eldest brother were taken by the Japanese and taken to Fort Santiago. We also interviewed Peter Parsons, who's the son of Commander Chick Parsons, and his experiences during the war. He was only a small boy when the war broke out. So those are some of the things that we showed in the documentary.
Richard, how did you feel doing the movie? Siyempre, kahit paano may nostalgia rin yan. You try to live the character of the man, a great man. How did you feel about it?
Parang sa title honored honored ako to play, because sabi ko the challenge is to give him justice. So I was able to actually talk to Tita Neninga at length to get a view also from her experience, so that then Des was able to lend me a lot of material to read about him, so that we could put it together. Kasi one of the things that struck me was si Abad Santos is one of these heroes who is so parang unknown. What did he do? His name's familiar, but what did he do? And yet there are so many who claim to be heroes. They claim to have records from World War II, and it's all claim lang. And people I talk to, people who know these people, will tell me, oh yeah, he was like this. And then there are detractors naman. Oh no, he wasn't like that, he was like this. But in general, when we talk about Jose Abad Santos, people who knew him, people who met him, they all sing praises. So sabi ko, this is one of those examples. In fact, in one of the projects that Bani directed was where one of the surviving guerrillas from World War II, he said, the reason we were all so nationalistic is we were brought up on the stories of our heroes, who were Jose Rizal, Aguinaldo. So when the call came for them to defend the country, ready sila. In fact, they were disallowed sana to join the USAFE. They formed their own guerrilla bands so that they could fight for the country. Eh, sabi nga, that's the reason itong mga youth natin, and some of them have no direction, is because, like you mentioned kanina, Manny Pacquiao, sports figures, parang yung sikat lang nila is while they're successful eh.
Pag natulog yan, hindi na sikat. Ganun.
Parang ganon, parang ganon. Yung they'll go to the next guy who's coming up.
Fleeting na yan.
Oh, fleeting lang.
So, unlike heroes like Jose Abad Santos,
Oh, who were not doing it for, because there are so many people who are boasting about what they did, and yet the heroes from World War II, even the surviving guerrillas, they're just the quiet guy in the corner. Sa mga family party and everything, and then later on, after having even seen the films, some of their relatives are surprised na si Lolo pala, ganun pala. Itong mga nagawa ni Lolo na he doesn't talk about it, he's just sitting there silently smiling, watching everybody in the party. So parang exciting to do something that tells the story these people weren't allowed to say.
okay, napakaganda nun. Pero, hindi ba kayo nahirapan doon sa pag-produce ng pelikula? Definitely, malaking pera yung production. Kung hindi naman siguro classified yun, ano?
Well, hindi naman no. Kasi kumbaga nung when we decided on doing the film, and of course, funding came into like, oh, saan tayo kuha, and all of that. Of course, a lot of the possible donors and sponsors came to mind, but the truth is we were adamant and driven to finish the film. So, when ganun lang ho, when we decided and we felt the story had to be told and had to be made, yes, kinaya naman po namin. Kinaya naman.
Okay. Yun ang maganda rito eh. Kakayanin pala naman eh. Kung sabagay, kasabihan naman Pilipino yan, pag gusto may paraan, pag ayaw may dahilan. We'd like to open the floor to our colleagues from the media. Ang mga tanong limitado sa heroism. Siguro baka may gusto rin magtanong sa medalya. Mga peking medalya at iba pa. Pwede na rin eh. Historians tayo dito eh. Let's open the floor to our colleagues from the media. Tumita, would you have any question? Coming from Daily Manila Shimbun, please, please. Yes, please. Pakibukas lang ng mikropono.
Okay. Yeah. This is a reporter from Daily Manila Shimbun, Japanese newspaper. I want to ask questions about movie itself. Is it in English or Tagalog, or is there any subtitles, like, targeting audience? Tsaka, what's the screening schedule after this coming Saturday? And like, where it will be, like, in the screening after on in theater po?
The movie is in English, and then the reenactments, there's a reenactment parts. There are reenactment parts in the film which are in Tagalog and Japanese in English. But the whole film is with English subtitles. And for the schedule, Tito Mario or Tito Dan?
As the film was intended, the advocacy is to bring the story to the youth. So initially, the plan really is not to like rely on commercialism, but we'll be having road shows to institutions and schools. We'll be arranging that with them, so that we could bring the story directly to the market.
So the decided schedule is upcoming Saturday.
Oh, no, after...
Yeah, after that, do you have any schedule?
Nothing solid yet as of if the dates are the question. If the date is the question, no, nothing solid yet. But we are all inviting you to watch our premiere on February 24, Saturday at the AFP Theater. After that, we have a Facebook page and we'll be putting our schedules there kung saang eskwelahan po kami pupunta.
Okay. Hindi namin makikita sa Green Hills to.
Bani.
Bani, baka naman makita natin sa Green Hills to.
Well,
Sa DVD.
Mga dabidi-dabidi.
well, like Tita Des said, wala pa namang official schedule for what we're going to do. Pero yung general plan is, like our previous films and documentaries before, we're gonna take this to different schools and universities around the country, not just limited to Manila, but of course the nearby provinces and even in Cebu and Visayas and Mindanao as well.
You're sure it won't be pirated?
Well, you can never be sure. But
Hindi, dahil mahirap kasi pag napirata na, mako-commercialize, may iba yung dating. No? So, I just wanted to find out kung meron kayong technology para wag mapirata to. Dahil yung iba naman kasi namimirata pag pinalabas na sa sinihan, doon kinukunan.
we do have a copyright. That's our defense for
Very good. Yes, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Juvie de Guzman of DWPL. I just want to ask anybody from you, what is the difference of the Chief Justice now and the Chief Justice during the time of Abad Santos? You know, natuwa ako eh. Actually, I'm so happy and proud. Kasi this person is, I used to pass on that
Yung karsada.
Yes, oo. Tapos ngayon nagulat ako,
May
wow.
kwento pala.
May kwento pala. Yun, medyo sabi ko, wow.
Ganun pala yun.
Sabi ko nga kay Sir Mario, you should be proud of your wife kasi talagang all-out support siya. Dun sa, albihira ho yung ganun eh.
Yung kaibahan po, medyo baka may magalit sa atin, no? Pero
No, it's okay.
siguro po isa pong main kaibahan, hindi ho siya nababalita in a bad way or in a ano ba ang tawag dyan? Hindi naman skandalo, pero yung may balitang hindi maganda.
Apo.
And siguro i-quote ko na lang po yun, mother-in-law ko, when we were interviewing her. And she said, at the time, the Commonwealth time, when somebody is in the Supreme Court, para bang talagang you're it. Parang you have to be very clean. Kasi nung panahon na yun, dadaan pa sa US Senate ho eh.
Opo.
So hindi lang dito, US Senate, and then the US President will approve. So ang dami nilang dinadaanan. So yun po siguro yung kaibahan and yung karangalan nila nung araw, kakaiba po talaga. Yung kalinisan din ho, wala naman po sana magagalit.
Yeah.
Hindi po masama yung mga balita, parang in other words. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isa na lang, sir. Si Ricardo Cepeda, kilala natin isang magaling na aktor, no? Gusto ko lang pong malaman sa inyo, as a producer, meron ho ba kayong ibang choice pa other than him? Kasi alam nating napakaraming magagaling na artista na...
Nang intriga ka na, ha?
Hindi po. Hindi. What I mean...
Magandang tanong mo yan. Magandang
Hindi
tanong.
po. Kasi syempre, nagbabari din yun sa mga choice. At
Opo.
gusto ko lang malaman paano naging siya. Kasi malaking yun.
Okay.
You should be proud.
Understood.
Yes.
Nung una po naming niisip mag-asawa na gawin po yung itong
Sino yung
project
head?
na
Opo.
po, syempre, people came into mind, ganyan.
Yeah.
And nung nakwento ko po sa sister-in-law ko na si Marina at si Richard yung plano namin, Richard was very supportive. Sabi niya, uy, maganda yan, Des, and everything. And we were eyeing him kasi una-una ho, perfect yung height.
Opo.
Richard is 5'10", Jose Abad Santos is 5'10". So nagharap din kami ng mga pictures, yung shape ng mukha ho, pasok din. Pero sabi ko, bro, hindi pwede, laki ng katawan mo eh. Sabi namin sa kanya. And you know what he did? He lost 15 pounds for the movie. Months before, he was trying to lose 2 pounds per week para po mag-slim up siya for the movie.
Wow.
Eh kung hindi pa naman po ang tawag doon dedication, ewan ko na, di ba po?
So meaning he is the first and the last choice.
I would believe so,
Thank
yes.
you.
Des, hindi naman kaya nangayayat si Richard, maliit yung professional fee. Okay. Biro lang, you know. Hindi, nagsimula ka eh. Anyway, siguro ang isang pagkakaiba ni CJ ngayon at ni CJ noon, walang social media noon, walang trolls. Diba? Pero anyway, pag ang tao malinis talaga yan. Dahilan sa, alam mo naman, ang chismis knows no bounds. Pero yung from a historical point of view, no, we're not here to compare apples and oranges, but ano yung panahon noon sa inyong pananaw?
Well, sa akin, kasi si Chief Justice Abad Santos, siya yung tanging Chief Justice na nagpakamatay sa prinsipyo. Kasi walang ibang gumawa niyan. Nobody else had done that. At saka higit sa lahat, he defied the Japanese Empire. So, sino sa mga Chief Justice natin na kaya yun? At saka talagang nanindigan talaga. So, sa akin, he has no comparison as of now.
Okay.
willing to die for his principles. And he actually did.
Aha.
At sasabihin niya sa kanya anak, it's an honor to die. Nobody else is given that honor. Only very few lang, so it's an honor to die for the country. So, and he did. He actually sacrificed his life.
Yes, please.
You know that the Supreme Court gives Jose Abad Santos awards. I don't know annually or sporadically. So presumably, they know. So maybe you should ask them. But I must also say that Jose Abad Santos also served as Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, and Secretary of Justice. So the template is not limited to the judiciary. And then the other difference is, at that time, 75 years ago, Japanese imperialism was in a position to kill our officials because of the war. Today, Japanese imperialism is not in a position to kill our officials.
So what do they do?
Well, on one hand, the Zaibatsus are still around and Filipinos like them.
The conglomerates.
Yes, the Zaibatsus.
Okay. Yes, please.
As our Japanese reporter here, I'm sure, knows.
Hi, good morning. Hi,
Oh,
Mel.
welcome back.
Yeah, Rod Cornejo from the Asian Institute of Journalism and Communication. The movie that you're preparing, that you're producing, direct, has to have certain elements that will draw people, like romance, action, and of course values. I just want to suggest that maybe you have to put some romance in that movie. If you remember the movie Titanic, we all know about the Titanic, but how did they make it a very popular movie? By focusing on this young couple. Anyway, if I may go back now to this point, when I was in grade school, we were taught about Jose Abad Santos. That he was a hero, that he gave his life, and our youth today needs role models. Not only our youth, even our people in government, especially in the judiciary. So I'm hoping that maybe your foundation, your group, can do something to promote the principles that the good Chief Justice stood for. And maybe if you can put that in a nice book, okay, something like quotations, principles, like what would have he done if he were alive? How would he react to
Yes.
the issues in our country? That's
Thank
all.
you. We
Thank you, ma'am.
discussed it earlier kanina eh. Oo. Oh, it's okay. It's because of the traffic. No problem, Rod. It's a pleasure to have you with us. So would you care to have brief reactions? There was a suggestion to come up with a book of quotations.
As far as yung elements of the movie is concerned, actually lahat po nandun is really values laden. You see how honorable he really lived his life. In terms of romance, meron din po. Maganda rin ho kasi yung love story nilang mag-asawa.
Meron.
Meron. In terms of action, meron din ho. Dahil akala natin medyo timid siya and shy. Aba, hindi ho. 10 years old, he was already a courier for the Katipunan. Nobody knows that. Right? So,
Pasabilis yun. Kung ngayon, no?
yes, so yun po naman yung lahat po yun makikita nyo sa movie. And of course, mas complete sa book. As I said, mahirap i-condense nga naman yung buhay niya in a 1.5 hour movie. Si Direk Bani, baka may gustong i-add sa
Pero at the same time, documentary pa rin siya. So yung artistic license, meron limited. But on the other hand ulit, you don't need to embellish anymore yung romance and action side ng story niya. Kasi nandun na siya. I think it's very relatable, very accessible for people to relate to.
Okay. So walang conflict between the justice and the mother-in-law, gano'n? Wala? Wala.
Hello, sir. Pat Santos, sir. Tribune, guys. Ang tanong ko lang, nakakatuwa, yung sinundan yung before yung film nyo, a successful historical film na yung General Luna. Now, you're following that trend. Okay ho yun eh. Ang akin lang, sir, sa dalawang historians, bakit mas sikat, ba't mas tinatangkilik yung mga hoodlums, yung mga, mas attractive sila sa ganun. Nakikita natin yung influence, pati mga choice ng leaders, nagiging ganun.
Paliwanagin natin, Pat, ibig mo sabihin may mga hoodlums na na-elect, gano'n?
Wala naman akong
Hindi. Mabuti na
parang
maliwanag.
may ganun
We're on
eh.
the record, okay?
For the record, parang may ganun eh. Parang naiiba imbis na yung honorable, parang hindi na-overlook na yun. Instead, yung mga astig, nagmumura. Parang iba na yata ang tingin ng mga kabataan, botante, ano. How do you see yung kayo dalawa pong historians? Bakit nag-deteriorate yung ano? Dahil ba sa
Yung
patuhan ng
pinahalagahan ng
putik,
mga Pilipino.
yung intrigahan, mudslinging, ano ba nangyari? Bakit ganito yung bansa natin? Tapos meron pang trolls, dumating pa yung Facebook, lalong sumaya.
Okay.
Ano ba yung tingin nyo? How do you react on that?
Thank you. Gentlemen.
Sa aking palagay, yung malakas ng commercial appeal kasi ng mga mga hoodlums. Di ba gusto nila barilan, patayan, palitan ng asawa, ganon. Kasi yun yung nangyayari, sadly, yun ang nakaka-appeal sa mga moviegoers, At saka yung nabanggit niyo General Luna, yung kanyang propensity na magmura, So ito bang bayani nagmumura? On the other hand, sasabihin nila, kahit na ganyan, naging bayani pa rin. So, yung ating, actually, I can draw from the Bible, yung bakit kung sino pa yung magnanakaw siya pag napunta sa langit. Kung yung magnanakaw sa kahan ni Kristo siya pa ang napunta sa langit. Parang, mahilig yung mga Pilipino sa ganung propensity. At saka yung tinatawag natin na dehado complex. Siyempre, doon ako sa parang Cinderella na na nasa ibaba, tapos all of a sudden nasa itaas. So, part na ng mentality ng Pilipino yun eh. At yun lagi nasa appeal. Siyempre, yung influensya rin na simbahan, influensya na rin ating kultura, at saka siyempre, bakit very popular si Pacquiao kasi galing sa mahirap. Suddenly, napakayaman niya. So ganun, yun ang ating mass appeal. Compared sa mga taong na parang parang napakabanal, napaka-law abiding, parang boring yata. So siguro, paano kaya kung gagawa ka ng pelikula kamukha ni Buhay ni Mother Ignacia? Paano kaya bebenta sa sino yun? So ayun, si Lorenzo Ruiz parang nag-okay kasi naging pumatay siya ng tao. Pero, naging santo. Pero paano kayo talagang malilinis talaga? Ayun. So, ayun ang aking palagay.
Thank you.
Lorenzo Ruiz, hindi ba hapon din ang pumatay doon? Hapon din pumatay doon, ha? But there's talk movies, di ba? There are several niches now. You have the mainstream studios, lowest common denominator. It's not just sex and violence, no romance. There are formulas. You have the indie films. I guess they like social realism. And then of course our kids, they do have role models, no? Hollywood, Han Solo and the Avengers. So it takes a guy like our director here to carve a niche out of that market.
Uh-huh.
So, gumagawa kasi ng sine yun eh.
Okay. Follow up? Okay. Bigay galang muna tayo sa ating kasama. According to seniority. Good morning po. Can we add another chair? We have another guest who will join us this morning. Pakigalaw lang po ng konti. Yeah.
Morning po. Senny Tolentino po ako from SMNI KLC.
Yes, please.
I just want to ask, nag-file kaya ng SAL-NC Justice? Biro lang po.
Okay.
Anyway,
Trivia yun eh, di ba? Trivia. Okay.
Natutuwa po ako talaga at nakaisip kayo ng ganito. Kasi kulang na kulang sa role model ang ating mga kabataan, no? Ang nakikita nila, yung talagang nakikita mo sa TV na yung hindi magandang culture, yun ang na-absorb nila. Kaya ganito na ang ating society. Little by little, it's going to down. So, congratulations po sa inyong lahat at talagang admire ko ang ginawa nyo. Sobra po ang katuwaan ko. Salamat
Thank
po.
you. Thank you. We'd like to acknowledge si Dan Sheneill is with us. Okay. Siya yung gumanap na batang Abad Santos. No? Siya si Pipito. Pipito. Yeah, so how did you feel about your role as Pipito? May hikaw ka na ba doon sa pelikula? May mikropono tayo.
Ayun po, sobrang grateful po ako and sobrang na-challenge po ako sa paggawa ng role na to kasi first experience ko po to acting on screen po. Kasi usually puro po theater performance po yung ginagawa ko. So sa tulong po ni Direk Bani, nagawa ko pong i-portray yung character po ni Pepito.
Di ba mas madali yung pelikula dahil pwedeng i-cut pag may sabit. Pero yung teatro, wala Dire-diretso lang yun
Ano po kasi, yung iba po kasi yung namin yung environment po sa theater. So parang medyo nahirapan din po ako mag-adjust, i-adjust yung acting ko po sa screen po.
Okay. Especially period film to, no?
Apo.
Iba yung galaw ng pelikula kaysa doon sa galaw ngayon ng
Apo.
kabataan, no? Okay. All right. Papa, yes, Richard.
I just want to add na...
Upo sa table para mas conducive sa atin.
Kasi nagsisikuan
Okay
kami.
lang.
Si Dan is parang revelation kasi napakagaling na artista Parang 29 years na ako sa show business and he's one of the best na young actors na nakatrabaho. It made doing the role so much easier. Kasi part of what Direk Bani was focusing was on the relationship of the father and son. And sa galing na yung umarte, talagang we were able to feel that connection na magama.
Ano ba yung relasyon nung ama sa anak? Siguro mas maganda may paliwanag mo yun. How was it in the movie?
Well, yung like what Bani was saying, he tried to show it from the perspective ni Pepito who was there the whole time. Kasi may mga hearsay kasi, yung mga kanya-kanyang version of kung anong alam nilang nangyayari. Pero yung version ni Pepito is that si Pepito was there the whole time na na-capture sila ng Japanese. And si Pepito nga was at his father's side during the whole time. To the point na after na-execute siya, dinala pa siya sa Japan. So, siya pang talaga may alam sa kwento
Dumating yung ganung pagkakataon Naging bahagi ng pelikula yun
Yes, oo.
Okay. Would you tell us more about what Richard said?
The father and son?
Yes.
About the father and the son? Yes. Nung panahon kasi na yon, Pepito was a lieutenant in the Philippine Army. So, he was a junior aide of Quezon. So, not really an aide-de-camp of the father. But then when they were brought to Corregidor, so kasama-sama po si Pepito because junior aide siya ni Quezon. And then when Quezon left for Australia, naiwan na po sila magkasama. Napakaganda po nung kwento. Dahil nga po 3 weeks sila together in captivity, no? Tapos, and Pepito would help the father kasi medyo may asthma, medyo nagkakasakit sa lahat ng kabisihan ng nangyayari nun. And they were both parang very important to each other. Morally, spiritually, and yun yung kagandahan ng kanilang relasyon.
Okay. So dito, pinahalagahan din yung relasyon ng pamilya.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
very much.
Closely knit yung pamilya, no?
Opo, malapit po talaga sila. And
Okay.
though Abad Santos was kind of like a strict father in the sense that the kids should not have vices and he abhorred vices, the kids should be top in school, but all the children, even in their old age, would say he was the best father.
Okay. Very well. Seldom do we get to hear statements from sons na magaling yung tatay nila, no? Yung kasing ilang tatay sa tuwa sa pamilya, dumami pamilya. But anyway, that's not our topic today. Okay. I was told we will have the trailer, no, shown. Okay, please, Bani. And then, may trailer tayong ipakikita. So you have an idea. Patayin natin yung ilaw.
You must show these people that you are brave. He was one of the greatest Filipinos, not just in World War II, but one of the greatest in the whole of Philippine history.
Kung basahin mo talagang kwento ni Jose Abad Santos, mamamangha ka. He was one of the prominent government officials with integrity. A man of character like Jose Abad Santos, given 30 years of public service, would stay true to his word. He died as a hero under the most difficult period of Philippine history.
He believed what he said. He stood by what he said. And rather than sacrifice his ideals and his honor, he chose to pay with his life.
Yung honor niya hindi nabali. Talagang marangal siyang namatay, humarap sa kamatayan. Not even the Japanese army could break him.
The example of Abad Santos is still as current today as it was in 1942. Tragic as it was, what he lived for and eventually what he died for is something that we have to keep remembering. He died for selflessness. He died for maintaining integrity, and he chose honor above all.
Okay. Very well. So how did you feel about doing the movie?
Oh, yung totoo. Well, no, naiyak nga ako dun sa, every time I see the trailer, naiyak pa rin ako. Kasi, finally, his story can be really told at its purest form. Walang bola-bola, walang exaggeration. Yung totoo lang. And syempre, sa industriya, alam naman natin nangyayari usually sa mga films, di ba? Minsan, para maging mas pansinin, they sensationalize everything. Pero during the filming of the making of the biopic, na-touch lang ako na everything was really taken as is. And when Des told me how she did the research for 2 years, interviewing everyone who was still alive, even going to the US to get documents, copies of documents, nabilib ako sa dedication nila, no, yung mag-asawang to, and of course yung Spyron, that they really pushed through with this, kahit walang, the man in focus was not, yung palaban na may baril-baril.
Okay. So, it was more of fulfillment on your part.
Yes. Kasi throughout our lives, even Mario, Mario's my brother. Throughout our lives kasi, pag sinabi namin Abad Santos, laging sinasabi, oy, ano yung daan? Yung kalye. So sabi, hindi kalye. Ano nyo yung Jose Abad Santos School? Yung just sabi. So, it's yung Jose Abad Santos, the hero ng World War II. And then, surprisingly, not everyone knows him. So, kaya masaya kami na this time, talaga for people who will be interested to know about his story, it's really a different take. And we were able to discover why we are, yung mga character namin, personalities namin. It's really, alam na namin saan nanggaling.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark, after how many years saka nagkaroon ng pelikulang ganito? Yung martyrdom niya, yung kanyang heroism was during World War II. After how many years? 75?
No, I think this is just... since that. Well, yun nga, ngayon lang talaga nagkaroon ng attention.
Dahil sabi nga ng mga historians natin, mahilig mag-move on yung Pilipino.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think, anong gagawing pelikula tungkol kina Pinoy at kina Digong 75 years from now? No?
Cartoons na lang siguro.
Yeah, anyway. That's another subject for academic discussion. Okay. There being no more questions from our friends from the audience, we'd like to say thank you. for joining us. We'll have